Okay, make sure that you have read through the assignments on this side of your paper. As I work through this, you should be using my help to fix any mistakes that you think you may have made. Bring me your paper when you're done. What is the equation of a line with a y-intercept of -3 and a slope of 5? I know that my equation form is y equals mx plus b. I should put the slope in the place of m and the y-intercept in the place of b. After you've done that, choose your answer. Annie was given 2 pieces of information and must write the equation of a line. She knows the line crosses the y-axis at the point 0.06 and has a slope of 7. What is the equation of the line? If it crosses the y-axis there, I know that is the y-intercept. Y-intercept is wherever it crosses the y-axis. If it has a slope of 7, then I know that's the slope. Just like the last problem, you should have plugged your slope into y equals mx plus b along with your y-intercept. I know slope is m, y-intercept is b. Choose the answer that does that. A line is graphed in the coordinate plane. The equation of the line is in the form of y equals mx. What is the value of m? Okay, so they left plus b off of our equation form because it's not crossing the y-axis on a number, it's crossing at the origin, which is 0. In order to find m, we have to find the slope. I find the slope of a graph by doing rise over run. I'm going to give you 2 points to use, and then you need to find the slope. Find the slope and choose your answer. Which answer choice represents -4y equals 12x plus 16 in slope-intercept form? I know that that is y equals mx plus b. The y is not allowed to have a number in front of it. So since the -4 and the y are side by side, they're being multiplied. So to get rid of it, we will need to divide everything by -4. After you do that, you should get one of these answers. Which equation represents the graph below? I know that that means y equals mx plus b. So first, I should find the slope by doing rise over run. I'm going to give you 2 points to use. Okay. After you find the slope, you need to find the y-intercept, b, and that would be wherever it's touching this axis. So wherever their line touches that purple line that I just drew, that would be your y-intercept. After finding both of your values, plug it into the equation and choose your answer. What is the y-intercept of the line on the graph below? It's wherever it touches the y-axis. So you need to see where is their red line touching my blue line. What should you do first to graph the equation y equals 3/5 x minus 5? Whoops. I know that when graphing a line, I have to graph the y-intercept first. Whenever you have a y-intercept, that is where x is 0. So x has to be 0, and the number that goes here is your y-intercept. Look at your equation to locate the y-intercept and choose the answer. What is the rate of change of the table below? Rate of change is slope. You should have done y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. If you label your points, you will now just simply plug in y2, y1, x2, x1. Calculate your answer, choose your answer. Which function has the smallest initial value? Initial value is y-intercept. All right, so for function A, you need to circle the number that represents the y-intercept. The y-intercept on a table is when x is 0. Function B, you have 2 points. It's the same exact thing. Your y-intercept is wherever x is 0. Function C, I know that the standard form is y equals mx plus b, B is the y-intercept, so whichever number is in the place of B on function C would be your y-intercept. After you've circled all of your y-intercepts, you need to decide which one has the smallest value, which one is the smallest number. Which graph represents y equals 4 over 5x minus 3? Okay, so according to our standard equation, y equals mx plus b, negative 3 would be the y-intercept. So I need to choose the graph that touches the y-axis at negative 3. There's only one graph that does that. Which function has a greater rate of change, which means slope? Okay, so instead of actually taking the time to calculate the slope of function A, since we don't have lines and we may be a little confused, let's use what we know about increasing lines and what the slope would be. So what you need to do is you need to decide, would function A have a positive or negative slope? Function B has a negative slope. Use what you know about positive and negative numbers to choose your answers. Make sure you read your answer choices carefully. Which proportion has a smaller rate of change and why? All right, so for proportion A, I know that m is slope, so whatever number is in the m's place, it will be my slope for proportion A. Proportion B, I have to label my points. Oh my gosh, my bad. And do y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. After you find the slope of proportion B and you circle the slope on proportion A, you need to compare which one would be smaller. True or false, function A has a greater initial value than function B. I know that initial value is y-intercept. For function A, I know that my y-intercept is going to be wherever x is 0, so you need to circle the number when x is 0. For function B, I can write the standard form above the equation given, and I know that the y-intercept is whichever number is in the place of B. After you've circled both y-intercepts, you need to decide, does function A have a greater initial value or y-intercept than function B? Which equation models the linear relationship between the x and y values? Okay, so anytime I see equation, I need to be thinking this, which means I have to determine the slope by doing y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. After I label all of the numbers given, I will simply just plug in y2, y1, x2, x1. Then I have to have the y-intercept. The y-intercept is wherever x is 0. So I will look at my chart, and wherever x is 0, that will be my y-intercept. After you found both numbers, you need to plug it in to y equals mx plus b form. Which number has the least value? Okay, so what I'm going to do here is just kind of tell you how to make these numbers decimals and let you take over. I know to do square root, I have to do 2 second rooftop, and to make a fraction a decimal, I have to divide. So you need to make all of the numbers decimals and choose which one is the smallest. A ship weighs 1.2 times 10 to the 4th tons when it is empty. The ship's cargo fuel and crew weigh a total of 4.6 times 10 to the 3rd tons. What is the total weight of the ship with the cargo fuel and crew on board? Okay, so when I hear the word total, I should know that I have to get the sum of the two numbers, which means I need to add. So you need to add these two numbers in scientific mode in the calculator and get your answer. If negative 3 to the 5th times negative 3 squared equals negative 3 to the unknown power, what is the value of x? All right, so the bases are the same. Oops. They're both negative 3, and they're multiplying. When they multiply with the same base, you should add the exponents. A choice matrix is shown. Complete the choice matrix by selecting the term which describes each relation. Okay, so what we're doing is we are determining if these following relations are functions or not. I know in order for something to be considered a function, no x values can repeat. I'm going to set up the first one for you, and then you need to do the next three. I should have started by labeling all my points and circling the x's. After I do that, I need to decide, do any of these x's repeat? In this case, they do. I have 2 1s. If I have 2 of the same x's, it is not a function. You need to do the next 3. Which term best describes the function? So if I look at my answer choices, I see linear, linear, nonlinear, nonlinear, increasing, decreasing, increasing, decreasing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trace this graph from left to right, and you need to decide, do you think it's increasing or decreasing? Okay, you also need to ask yourself, is it a straight line? If it's straight, it's linear. If it's not straight, it's nonlinear. If your graph is going up, it's increasing. If it's going down, it's decreasing. Choose your answer, and this should be your last question. When you have made sure that all of your questions have an answer, I need you to bring your paper to me.